Today was a super busy day at school, but we still want to have a nice dinner. We want to make something simple but delicious. So tonight we're going to make fish cakes.
For today's recipe, you'll want 1 9-ounce can of tuna, mackerel, or salmon drained. All of these fishes work well. You'll want 1/4 of a medium red onion chopped, salt and pepper to taste, 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise, 1 teaspoon of mustard, 1 teaspoon of hot sauce, your favorite, a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, 1 tablespoon of parsley, a 1/3 cup of breadcrumbs, 2 eggs, and butter for frying. For today's recipe, I'm going to be using canned fish. Now, we're using tuna today, but you can also use salmon and mackerel. Both of these turn out really well. The important thing is that you want to get something that's packed in water, and then you want to drain it well. So I've drained my tuna a little bit, but there's still a lot of liquid in here, and I do not want soggy fish cakes, so I'm just going to very gently kind of mash the fish down and get that extra water out. I want these to be nice and firm. Next, we're just going to go ahead and chop our onion, and I'm only going to be using about 1/4 of a medium red onion today. I don't need that much, but I do want to have a little bit of crisp in there, and we like kind of smaller pieces, so I'm just going to give these a nice chop. Next, I'm going to go ahead and mix everything together. I have a nice big bowl, and I'm going to put my tuna in first, and I kind of compressed it a little bit to get the water out, and I just kind of want to fluff that back up just a little bit. And I'm going to add my other ingredients. I'm going to start with my chopped red onion. Next, I have my dry ingredients, my paprika and my garlic powder, parsley, breadcrumbs, and go ahead and give that a good mix before we start adding in our liquid ingredients. Next, we have our mayonnaise, hot sauce, and mustard. We're just going to go ahead and put that in here and just give it a really good stir. I want to make sure that all of these ingredients are well incorporated. We've got this all mixed up, and now we're going to add in our 2 eggs. We'll get this all mixed up, and we are almost ready to make fish cakes. Now, the last thing that you want to do before you fry these up is you want to add your salt and pepper. Now, some of these fishes can be kind of salty on their own, so you kind of know what your family likes. I just add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, give it a good stir, and we're going to be ready to make our patties. Now we're ready to turn these into fish cakes. I like to just get a big handful. We like ours about the size of a hockey puck, and I'm just going to form them by hand. They don't have to be perfect, but you just kind of want to get them kind of even all over so that they'll cook through and heat nicely, and just kind of clean up your edges. And we're going to pat these out, and then we're going to put them in the skillet to fry. And yes, Harley Grace loves fish cakes. This recipe makes 4 really nice sized fish cakes, so let's fry them up. I'm going to put my butter in my cast iron skillet and just kind of move it around and make sure that the bottom of my skillet is nice and coated. And once everything's nice and melted, it's time to add our fish cake. When I drop these in, I do want it to sizzle. These do not have to cook a long time. I just want to get a nice crust on them and make sure that the egg is cooked all the way through. After these have cooked for a few minutes, I'm going to loosen them for the bottom to make sure they're not sticking, and then I'm going to flip them over. And I will probably flip these over a couple of times to get the kind of crust that I want to build up, but you'll notice that it's cooking well when the edges start to go ahead and turn that golden brown. These have been cooking about a total of 4 minutes. I'm going to flip them again, and you'll notice it has that beautiful crust that's building up on the outside. Now, I want to make sure I have that crust, but I also want to make sure that it's firm to the touch. I want to make sure these are done. I'm going to give these 1 more minute, and then they'll be ready. These are good to go, so I'm going to take them out. I will need to add a little bit more butter. Now remember, if your pan starts to smoke, you can always turn it down just a little bit, but we're going to go ahead, add a little more butter, and we're going to be ready to fry our last 2 cakes. Our fish cakes are done, so you can serve these any way you like. They are an amazing addition to a simple salad. However, my husband's favorite way to eat these is with macaroni and cheese. But I am more of a sandwich girl, and these fish cakes make amazing sandwiches with a little bit of provolone cheese on top. So whatever way you like them, enjoy. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe. If you would like for these to continue, be sure to like, comment, and share. Thanks, guys.